Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book Threading the Needle by Monalisa Foster. Normally, I would be holding up my physical copy of the book because I read just about everything in physical copy. However, the publisher Baen Books contacted me about reading this book in an ebook format so that I could interview the author. And so I did that, and the interview is up on the channel. So I don't actually have the physical copy yet. It is on order. It will be arriving eventually. But as I'm recording this video, the physical copy is not out. I did read the book in an ebook format. Thank you to Baen, and I'm here to provide my review on the book. Let me first begin by giving you kind of a summary, a description of what the book is about. I'll read it from the publisher's summary. Talia Merritt, a former military sniper once known as Death's Handmaiden, is a woman haunted by her past. Her cybernetic arm and her phantom limb, the implant that allows her to control it, serve as a constant reminder of what she's lost. But Talia is hoping to leave her past and her reputation behind and start anew on the colony world of Gorudin, a hardscrabble planet of frontier-minded people seeking a better life. And she's finally earned enough to start to make that dream come true. In the bucolic town of Surrey, she interviews for a job as a marksmanship instructor for local bigwig Signor Ferran Contesi. But Contesi is not what he seems. A recent arrival on Gorudin, he hopes to mold the colony world in his own image. An image at odds with the unencumbered life, free of government and corporate meddling that Talia has come to find. Soon, Talia finds herself thrust into the start of another conflict. Talia desperately wants to stay out of it, but she may not have that luxury. With the fate of the planet and her own peace of mind hanging in the balance, Talia must decide whether or not to once again take up the mantle of Death's Handmaiden. So this book is a science fiction novel, but it also is kind of a Western novel. I would say it's a blending of the two genres. It has the trappings of science fiction. She has a cybernetic arm, they're on another planet, things like that. But for all intents and purposes, it reads like you would read a Western. She's coming to the town. There's the conflict in the town between the different factions, and she has to help the sheriff sort it all out. And there's people after her, and there's shootouts in the town, and there's the kind of local saloon that everyone goes to. Like it has elements of science fiction, but for all intents and purposes, it is a Western, and that I think is the biggest selling point of the book. If you enjoy reading Westerns, I think that you'll enjoy this. If you enjoy having Westerns set in other things, like sometimes you read fantasy novels that are Westerns. I've read those, I really enjoy them. If you read science fiction stuff that's Westerns, or horror that's also Westerns, you'll probably enjoy reading this because it has the Western plus the element of science fiction. However, I don't think the book is fantastic. I would put the book as okay in my estimation because there were quite a lot of things I did not enjoy about the book. There were things I did enjoy about the book, which I'll talk about, but there were plenty of things I did not enjoy. First of all, I will talk about what I did enjoy. I did enjoy the cast of characters. Talia Merritt is the kind of serious person, and so she's going off to help her friend Lyle, the sheriff, to try to protect him. And along the way, she makes a friend with Logan Teneman, who is basically the comic relief character. And he was delightful. He is an exomycologist, which I believe means he studies like fungus and plants and stuff. And he was super entertaining. The way he played off of Talia was entertaining, and I did enjoy that. I also enjoyed Lyle's storyline and seeing the difficulties of being a sheriff in this town. However, that's pretty much where my positives end because I did have several negatives. One is we are told throughout the novel so many times that Talia is this amazing sniper. We're told she has this amazing rich backstory that she was a sniper and did all this stuff and she's decided to set it all aside. And based off that, you would think it would come back later in the story and be important to her character. She'd use the skills, she'd use the sniper stuff later on. And that's just not what happens in the book. She uses one time her sniper capabilities towards the beginning of the book, like in the first third of the book, and then it never comes up again. And it was just very jarring, and the fact that I was like so expecting it because it was so laid on thick how impressive of a sniper she was. And all these people came to her, all these different people constantly offering her to be their bodyguard, to be the sniper for them, to take these jobs. And she's constantly turning them down. And you'd think, oh, it's because she has this greater purpose that she's going to do. And it's supposed to be that way, but it's not set up properly that she has this greater purpose. That greater purpose just is protecting her friend Lyle, but she doesn't take a job with the sheriff's department. She just is kind of there. And so it just becomes more ambiguous and more kind of it's just kind of happening. So I did not like the way that they laid on so thick her backstory, and then it had very little to do with what's actually happening in the general story. And one other thing I really just didn't love was the pacing of the story. It did not move across fast. It was a very slow-moving story. There's several elements. When you have like a 400-page book, which I believe if you have like a traditional novel, like it's like a traditional 400-page book, somewhere around there, you only have so much to do things, and so much of this book is traveling. Now, compare that to other Western style stories, like let's say the A Low Country novels that I read by my friend Morgan Shank. There's action happening even when they're traveling, and there's a lot of stuff that's happening. And when you look at something like Kenobi, which is a Star Wars novel that is basically a Western, there's so much happening even when they're traveling. The traveling here really felt like it was padding the runtime, and it wasn't an enjoyable part of the story. It felt like, all right, we need to get through this. There were little bits of, oh, that was a little humorous, or oh, that was a little cool scene there, but nothing that was like made it worthwhile. We could have just skipped through all the traveling, gotten to the places, and it would have been, I think, a much more effective story. So, those are my general thoughts on the book. It is mixed for me. There are elements. The Western element is so well done in this book, as are some of the secondary characters like Logan and Lyle. I really enjoyed them in the book. But then there's all that other stuff that just drags it down. So, here's what I'll recommend. If you're a big Western fan, I'll recommend this. And if you really enjoy women who are effective in combat roles, I don't want to say a bad word. If you enjoy women, I won't say the bad word. If you enjoy that stuff in your books, you might enjoy this book. But unless you're really heavily into one of those two things, I don't think this is a huge recommendation on my part, which is sad because this is this author's debut with the publisher. This is a standalone. It's just sad for me to say. It's not a glowing recommendation from me. So those are my thoughts and my review on the novel Threading the Needle by Monalisa Foster. If you've read the book, first of all, wow, you are a fast reader. But if you've read any books similar, let me know. Or just based off what do you think of this cover, let me know any thoughts you have in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.